Next is from Tourist Wobbled.
Right.
And the subject is GOAT. Hey K100, I was checking out clips in the latest Ric Flair podcast, and him and Conrad Thompson were talking about the greatness of this Bloodline versus Sami Zayn story. And Conrad said, quote, "It's one of the greatest stories WWE has done in years," unquote. And Flair replied, "It may be their greatest storyline of all time. I know that people in the wrestling business are known for crazy overpraise, hello Tony Khan, but really, is this one of the rare times when the overpraise is deserved? I mean, really, guys, can either of you three think of a storyline that's better than this? Austin versus Band, of course, is a classic, but Sammy versus Bloodline has legit drama to it. Before I go, I'm so sick of the Billy critics. Get off his back. If it wasn't for Billy, we would never found out that Roman Reigns versus The Rock, Charlotte Flair versus Raw 100% confirmed for WrestleMania 39. Oh, yeah, that's right. Billy sucks as a cancer to any show he's on. Whatever.
Reeled us in there.
Yeah, he reeled us in. Whatever, but that's not true, though. So, what is this? I will say, here's what I'll say. It might be the greatest storyline of all time because it was all done in basically vignettes and backstage clips. Like
other storylines that you like
him and Roman sitting on a couch having conversations.
Right.
Like this, it's like seriously.
What are some other storylines that you like? Yeah, no, bro, it's an incredible storyline. We've
I'll never forget Hogan and Savage, the original one where they planted seeds all year. They were a team, and then Savage would look at him a certain way when he would put his arm around Elizabeth and stuff like that. Yeah, I'll never forget that, man.
The build up to Warrior and Hogan was great. The NWO was great.
NWO.
When the Cyndi Lauper with Roddy Piper, all that was great. Remember that, Glenn?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. How old were you when that happened?
Greatest angles of all time. Let me think here. Hogan Andre, I think, is one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Because of bro, do you know what that match drew? Tony, get a load of this.
93,000
in Pontiac.
No.
93.
They wrestled on a Saturday night's main event.
Oh yeah,
right.
Okay, where they did the double referee.
Yeah, they drew a huge number.
Mm-hmm.
Just hypothetically, like right now, SmackDown does 2.5 million. That was like a huge number this week, right? Take a wild guess what the number was for that show. How many million? How many people
like 20?
Watched it? 33 million people. Bro, that's
ridiculous.
Let me look at what did the Super Bowl do this year?
Well, imagine how hot they were
last year.
Well, bro, the playoffs just did like 50 million.
Super Bowl did 99.18 million viewers in 2022.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, the playoffs right now, they just did like the Philly game did like 50 million, even though it was a blowout.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, think about this. During our time period when we were doing this, when remember wrestling on cable television on Monday night at one time was drawing 10 to 11 million people combined between the two channels. Okay, USA and TNT, right?
Right.
Bro, when Monday Night Football went off ABC and went to ESPN, they were doing like 10 to 12 million people.
Right.
Like wrestling was on par with football in popularity. Right. And like, look at where they are today, 20 years later.
We were more popular in baseball or basketball.
Way more popular. It wasn't even close, you know?
Yeah, we were killing them in the ratings.
Yeah.